I'm ZN Solo 101 with another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'll be going over how to build this basic starter squid farm, and before I waste any more time, let's jump into it. First of all, a few facts before we get started about squids are they only spawn in between layers 46 and 62, which is sea level in the game. So you can't just build these anywhere you want, and so you can't make one in your sky base. So just keep that in mind. You'll need to build this farm in between layers 46 and 62, or you will not get anything to spawn. And since 1.13.1, you can only build this in an ocean or a river biome. So you'll need to clear all the water in the river or ocean within 128 blocks away from the player where things can spawn. And you will need to be 24 spaces away to have them spawn. If you don't clear out the other water in the river/ocean, you will get a lot less spawning. So for a good spawn rate, you need to drain any nearby rivers and oceans up to 128 blocks like this one here. So just remove all this here water that's in the river biome. There is other water around. There's just some over there. Just one second. Alright, see this here water? This is in a forest biome. This here water does not matter. It will not affect our spawn rate because it'll only spawn in a river or ocean biome. So I have a little spot perfectly set up that's not too close to any other rivers or oceans. So this will be a perfect little starting spot. Another thing about them is you only need water 2 deep to get them to spawn. If you have it 3 high, you will get salmon, and you don't want that. So we'll make the spawn chambers only 2 deep. First thing I did here was I marked out where it was actually river. Not everything around it was in the river biome. Actually, most of it was in the forest. So I have here marked off in cobblestone what was the actual river biome. So I had to make it a little bit smaller than I wanted to initially, just to make it fit in here. And just it's hard to find such a big river biome that is actually a river biome. It splits into forest and plains and other things. So that took a little bit to get around. So I built it an odd shape. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is fill it in so that there's only just one space of water remaining. And this shouldn't take too long. Alright, there we go. Alright, you guys get the point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a minute here and I'm going to fast forward this here piece so that it doesn't take so long. This actually took me about 5 or 6 minutes, so I'm just going to fast forward this here piece and I'll be back in just a moment. And movie magic, here we are again. Okay, next thing we need to do is we're going to put in the fence gates. And we're going to put 2 of these right in the middle. This is 6 wide, so these 2 are this is gonna be so that they fall down without getting stuck up in the water. So we're gonna make it 2 wide fence gates. Ooh, you gotta make sure you shift click those in. And on this here side, when we get to here, we're gonna make this one here only 1 wide for this distance. I think that's good enough. We're just testing this middle one out. The 2 side ones are the ones that are for the example. I just made this here extra long one just so that I could run it for a couple of weeks and see if the spawn rate would be better if I made a bigger spot like this and made the water just travel. Another thing with this here farm, I'm only building it just one section, so I'm only going to make it 2 by 2 area. I'm only making the 1 cell. You can make this many layers all the way down to 46. I'm just using the 62 layer, and I'm just only going to use the 2 61 and 62 layers for this example. I'm not going to build this all the way down to level like 46. Okay, it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, I need to dig this here out just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the water run. So I need to block the water on one side. Toward facing the gate. You want to make sure that the water is running to the gates. So like this. Make sure it's running. And it's just easier to work with when it's only one deep. So I suggest working with it with just one deep or with no water in it at all. It's easier to put the buckets in than it is to take the water out constantly if you make a mistake. Okay. I have to change my design a little bit. I didn't think this far ahead. Okay, so I'll make it just a little bit smaller. Alright, then break those back out. Pretty easy way to get the water flowing. And then we want to make sure, well, it's nice and easy, we open up all of the fence gates. Okay, there we go. And now we need to dig it down just a little bit so that we can add another row of fence gates in. We want the water too deep. We just don't want to work with it too deep when we first start. It's quite a pain. So we'll make it 2 more deep and dig all this out. This will make it easier for us to add the fence gates in before we dig it down 15 more blocks for the drop kill. We'll do this first because it makes it a lot easier to open up all the the fence gates. I'm going to replace these with cobblestone. Alright, there we go. This is much quicker to do it at this here level than it is to try and do this in survival once you dig this here out 15 blocks. Whoops. Shift click that one back in. Trying to break the blocks that you're, yeah. Okay, and we just need to, we just need to open these gates up. Okay. Oh. Alright, so we need to wait till we hit the gate before we click the open button. Okay, there we go. There. This is going better. If you're back too far, they close on you. Have to open that one twice. Alright, I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to dig it down like this. Okay, I'll dig this here out so that it's too deep. After this here, I'm going to dig the trench down 15 more spaces. I'll most likely just skip it or fast forward it. I'm not, you know what it's like to dig down spaces. I'm not going to record that. So for just the speed of the video, I'm going to skip that piece, but I'll make sure that I finish this here up. And what I'm going to do is just do this here on the other side as well and dig down 15 more spaces so that when they drop, they die when they land. Alright, I'll be back in a minute, guys. Okay, after we're done all that, what we're gonna do is just check to make sure that we have our spot's good and it's gonna be spawning. So I found a spot up here. We have to make sure that we're at least 24 spaces away and within 128 blocks for them to spawn. So I'm just gonna stand up here, find a nice spot, and make sure that they're gonna spawn okay. I already know the spot's good. I'm just double checking it, making sure. Looks good. A few spawned, a few died. Oh, look at that. There we go. So this is working good. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to build a track for a hopper minecart to pick up all of the drop ding sacks. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, we're just going to grab a couple things, some redstone, some powered track, and some regular track. We're going to start at the end here, and we're going to put in 2 redstone blocks. And we're going to start like this. Alright, every so many, 6, we're going to put 5 regular rails. That should be good enough. Okay, we don't need too much track. I built it this year way so that I would need a lot less rails. If you build it square, you have to make something, some crazy, bizarre track going back and forth that just is, I don't find needed. You can just make a big straight row if you have a nice river biome that's at least this straight. And even if it's not straight, what I did to it up there to make it so that it would flow into one straight line will work anywheres and in any biome in the ocean. You'd have to drain a lot of the ocean to put it in the ocean, so I would definitely suggest only putting this in river biomes. Because putting this in the ocean, you need to drain the ocean 128 blocks away or your spawns are going to be very low. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're building this. Make sure that you're as far away from the ocean as you possibly can. Okay, we're almost done with the track here. I just need to add a little bit more. Then I need to make a spot for the track to go. Because we need a spot for it to go and go to storage. And I've been thinking about making a spot so that I don't have to come all the way to the bottom of this here farm to pick it up. So we're probably going to build some kind of elevator or a water chute to have them dispense in. So that we can get it up the top of the farm instead of having to build a big hole to get down up every single time. So we're going to put the track in this way. This is good enough. It's not the center, but I don't care. If you're a little bit more OCD than I am, then you may want to count out your blocks and put it in the exact middle. This is just where it works out for me. I didn't count on a single space. Okay, I think I have to remove this here 1 redstone block. Yeah, I definitely have to. Just move it 1. That should be plenty good. Alright. And then we just need to make this here go to a docking station where it can empty out into a chest. Couple more tracks. We're almost done here. This is the most tedious part. It shouldn't take too much longer. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back to this here in a little bit. I have a fix for it that I'll have to fix a little bit later on. I can't remember exactly how the redstone goes. So we'll end it about here. Okay, a lot of these are dying on my track. I need to cover in my track, guys. Okay, we just need to cover it in so that it doesn't stop the cart when I go to test it. There was so many ink. Look at all this. Not even getting picked up. So, okay, we need to cover our tracks now. That's the stage after you get your tracks in. We'll just cover them all up so that this stuff doesn't land on the tracks. We don't want it to land. It can land on the tracks, but we don't want it to land on the hopper minecart and send it in the opposite direction. I don't think it'll matter, and we need to fix this. This is not right. The hoppers need to empty into the chest. So we have to fix that up a little bit. That was an error on my part. Nah, we better put more. We're gonna need some storage because we're not gonna come down here and check it that often, and ink actually drops pretty fast. Okay, gotta break this back out. Break the chest, and put the chest in the other way. There we go. And we want the hoppers dumping in that as fast as they can. I don't want them taking too long. Oops. And you have to make sure that you put your, make sure your tracks are laid the right way or they'll connect by accident. Alright, come on. They're difficult. They're difficult. Alright. There we go. Now we just need to do a little bit of redstone to stop them so that the hopper minecart will stop. And we're going to need to dig a little bit of space out. Okay, I'm just going to do this and fast forward. I'll just be back in a second. Okay, now we just need a few things after I put those temporary blocks in. Some comparators, checking those hoppers, and then we need that to go into a block. Yeah, I think it needs to go into a block. Clean it a little bit more here. Yeah, just a couple more blocks here. So much stuff. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Now those need to go into a powered block. So a torch of some kind. Now I can't remember if it's on this here block or if it's on the block up. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're clearing this away. Okay, yeah, I definitely think the redstone torches are supposed to be on the end there. Okay, we're gonna move those. So the redstone torches go up here. And power that block. And put those in. I think those are the wrong way. Put a lever on here. I'll know in a sec. I'll have to turn those around. Okay, those are supposed to be checking the other block, I think. I can't remember. Okay, it's not changing, so I think those need to be turned around. That's my bad. I haven't built this in a long time. Okay. A little bit more space before I fix my redstone. There we go. It doesn't feel so cramped in here now. It's coming along pretty good. The main part's already done. How you pick it up, like this here part, you don't need to watch. You can pick them up with however you want. You can have any other system. This is just the one I suggest. I find it's very good. There we go. Turn those around. There we go. This is it for the redstone that you need to pick up and drop off all of the ink sacks after the hopper minecart picks it up. And we're just going to make sure we give it a little test. Okay, there it goes. I'm just picking it all up. It's still going to fill in some of this here later. Alright, there we go. I wasn't sure if this here still worked with the 1.16.3, but it still works perfectly. So that works great. And we're going to want to move these up. So we're going to put these so that it comes all the way up here, so that we don't have to go down there every single time. And my redstone for shooting them out into like a dispenser or anything like that, I would suggest watching somebody else's tutorial. I'm going to delete it out of this because the one I used is absolute. I would not suggest it to anyone. I just used one hooked to a hopper. I just use it for testing. It's the one I use for a lot of testing. So I would definitely look for one a little bit better, or I'll fix it up here at the end. What I did for her wasn't very good at all. We're just going to put some hoppers into this here and hook up a redstone clock. If you don't like redstone clocks going all the time, you'll definitely want to modify it with a comparator, something so that it's actually only going to be activated when there's something in it, instead of making a steady clock. It's a lot easier on your game. If you're in single player, it probably won't matter. If you're in a server, it might matter. Just depends on your situation. I would definitely check out something that only works or only turns on when the redstone is activated. So something with a comparator would work pretty good. Even an observer block, if you know how to use them really good, you can make one of those. But that dirty one I have out there, I wouldn't use that. That's just your standard clock. It just activates when something goes into the hopper. It doesn't activate when it goes into the dispenser. So it's a flawed design. I just used it just to get this here going as quick as I could. And I would definitely put the comparator onto the dispenser itself, and then run the redstone off with a repeater, and then have it loop so that it does only activate when there's something in the dispenser. Alright, we want to put the water source at the top and plant kelp at the bottom here. This is the easiest way to make this all a source block instead of putting a dozen buckets in. Life hack. It makes life so much easier. Look at that. All source blocks now. So all these water blocks, perfect. And then we're going to replace this dirt block with some soul sand. Okay, there we go. So that we got ourselves a bubble stream. There we go, perfect. Okay, then we're going to want to build this here up a little bit and add some hoppers and a chest up here as well. Sorry, I have a bad cough, guys. Should I build it that way? No, I don't think that'll look good. Not enough space. Let's build it that way, other way. Okay, we're gonna put 2 hoppers in. And we're gonna fix this hole we made. And we're gonna build it up a little bit so we can add a little bit of water. And we want to make sure that we use a double chest, because ink actually comes in pretty fast. Even with a small farm, ink sacks, they drop quite a bit and they spawn quite often. So I find these here, you definitely want a double chest. This is all I'm saying. It'll fill up the single chest awful quick. Alright, once we get this here built, we just need to get a bucket of water. We'll put this here gate in here to stop the water from coming through. And then we'll jam a bucket of water right at the top of the stream. Make sure it's the source. There we go. We're just going to test it. We're going to have to put a roof on it or the things will jump out of it. But we want to make sure that it's going to work first. I'm going to fill this in first. Yeah, we'll just finish this here up just right quick while we're down here. Fill all this in. We don't need access to that anymore. And we'll build it all the way to there. Perfect. We're good. Now this is working. And we need a way in and out. So, yeah, we'll just dig a way in. Okay, down we go. I don't ever suggest digging down in Minecraft. Oh, I broke my machine. Okay, fixed. There we go. That's just so we can get in and out really fast. I would use a bubble stream if I was going to go in and out here often. I'd fall down into a puddle of water. And there's our ink. So we're just going to get some trapdoors, and we're going to put the trapdoors on it to cover it so that the ink sacs don't actually fly out. And we're going to make sure that they go into the hoppers, and we'll double check it again. It's always my favorite part of testing. And I find this is convenient compared to going all the way down to the bottom every single time. Like if you're making a small little area, like what I did, just the bare minimal you need for ink. You're not going to use that much black ink unless you're building an all black ink, something you need stained like glass, a big structure, something like not many people do. So this would be good if you're playing on a server with a few other people and you're going to be supplying the ink. This will supply all the ink you need, I imagine, in the game. So once this is running for 2 or 3 days, it gets quite a bit of ink. I already have all of that since I started building it. So 3 or 4 5 stacks maybe of ink just building it, the stuff that dropped on the ground I already have. So I'm finding it's working pretty good. I don't have any issues. The only problem I have so far is I didn't test the 8 long strip, and like the 2x2 strips work fine and they work perfect. It's very good. They spawn and they get pushed out and they die right away, but the one I have there that's 8 long, I'm just testing that one. I don't know how good that works. I would just build the short ones that are only 2x2, 2 deep by 2 wide, and put the 2 gates in the middle of it and have them fall down the middle. I find that the most efficient and easiest way to do them. So there it is. That's everything there is to it. This will now produce ink for until I'm done playing the game. All I need to do is just stand up here so I'm within the perfect rate for spawning and far enough and close enough away to have them spawn there. That's all there is to it, guys. That's as simple as it is to get an ink farm started on the go. You can make this many layers. Every layer that you go down, you're going to have to go down further for the drop kill. So if you were going to build this, you should dig down to 46 and then go 15 additional spaces below 46. So when they drop, they're going to drop kill, even if you do build it layer by layer. If you start with only 1 layer and then add a layer, if you build it all the way down to 46 and then go 15 down after that, you won't have to worry about it if you expand it later on, and that's a really good option I enjoyed with this here farm. But that's all I have for this here. I would maybe add an outline all the way around the outside edge so that the squid don't get up on the edge. And there we go. Look at that. That's working pretty good. So I would add a little bit around the edges so that the squid don't come outside of that farm, because I do find they get stuck up on the edge there sometimes. I'm going to see if I find one. I think I see one down there in the corner dying. And as you see, they're just falling right down. It's going pretty good. Okay, yeah. One died up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to outline the farm 1 block high. And that will fix my problem. And it will give it a cool shape. It doesn't look the prettiest thing in the world because I used cobblestone, but that was just the building block I found the easiest to grab when I was building the tutorial. So just sorry for the ugly block, guys. You could probably make this look quite a bit better with something like quartz or just anything else. And just build it 1 high all the way around to finish up the farm so that the things don't fall out of it. Other than that, everything else is working just as expected. They're spawning pretty fast. They don't get stuck on the way down. I'm surprised with that. And you can build this in as many layers as you want and as big as you want, as long as the ocean biome or the river biome is big enough to support. Because if you start going into forests, they don't spawn there anymore. That's a thing they changed in Minecraft 1.13.1 is now they only spawn in river and ocean biomes. You used to spawn in any water in the in 62 to 46, but that's not a thing anymore. So that's something to keep in mind. If you like or found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up and get subscribed for more content. Thanks for watching. If you want to catch me live or interested in a little bit faster paced content, you can catch me live on Twitch. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 11 Atlantic Canadian time. So if you want to catch me a little bit live with some different kinds of content, a little bit more faster pace, you can catch me there live on Twitch. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.